Smoke roasted apple pie. Smoke roasted apple pie today on the Traeger. We've got our Traeger fired up to high, or about 450, and we're using a mixture of apple and pecan pellets. I think that gives my apple pies that nice nutty appley flavor. Works real well together. So it's a fairly simple recipe. We have 8 cups of apples, which is, well, normally it's about 8 apples. These were large apples, and it's a good thing because somebody around here ate a couple of my apples. But 8 cups, Granny Smith and Fuji apples are what I'm using today. We're going to use a tablespoon of lemon juice, 3/4 cup of sugar, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. We've got 1 tablespoon of flour, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. We've got a 1/4 cup of apple jelly that we are going to put on the crust before we put in the fruit mixture. And we've got egg white for the egg wash. So let's get started. All right, what we need to do is add our ingredients for our apple syrup, let's call it. We're going to add the 3/4 cup of sugar and the cinnamon and the nutmeg and we're going to add the flour and the cornstarch. And we need to add 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. We'll just give that a mix. It's not really a syrup, it's more of a, well, it's going to mix with the apple juice that comes out of the apples, and it's going to make a nice syrup in the end. So, all right, and then we just need to get our apples in there. And we just want to get those kind of mixed up. We're going to have to use your hands. Get those kind of mixed up with the mixture. I want to get them all coated real good. Get that cinnamon, nutmeg, sugar flavor all mixed around on all your apple pieces. And as we're sitting there mixing, I realize I don't have our pie crusts. So we're going to have to get our pie crusts. Be right back. For the pie crusts, you can make your own from scratch. As that meme goes, ain't nobody got time for that. I purchased the pre-made pie crusts, just the Pillsbury pie crusts, and that is a lot easier than making from scratch. Certainly from scratch is probably better, but you know, everybody's busy. So we just need to get one of these crusts out, and it'll be the bottom crust. Try not to tear it as I spread it out. When I was a kid and just in grade school, my grandmother's house was a block away from my school. And in the fall, when we were back to school, she would make pies. And when I'd come over to her house after school, they'd be sitting in the windowsill. And oh boy, was it awesome. All right, so we just take our bottom crust and we lay it in our glass pie pan. Glass is preferred. This is my glass pie pan just for smoking. My wife would kill me if I used her good pie pans on the smoker. That's okay. They just get a little bit dark sometimes from the smoke. So you just put the bottom crust in there, and then we're going to take our apple jelly, and we are just going to kind of brush the inside, the bottom of the pie crust with the apple jelly. 1/4 cup. Just brush it all around in there. Get it up on the sides. This just adds to that flavor again. This is actually apple cinnamon apple jelly. Got that from the local farmer's market. The cookie lady made that. So yeah, it's going to be awesome. It's going to add that special little flavor to it. Helps with that, you know, when you have an apple pie and you have the juice inside, it's kind of a jelly consistency. This just helps to get you there. So, all right, we've got the inside of the pie crust jellied up. Then we just add our apples. Try not to get them all over the backyard. Or if you're in Europe, your back garden. In the States, we call our vegetable gardens a garden, and our yard, the yard. We Americans can be a little strange. Okay, so 8 cups is going to be far too much for this pie crust, so we'll have a little extra. I'll figure out what to make out of this, but that's okay. It's going to be a nice heaping pie. And then we get to the top crust. We're going to spread that out. All right, for the top crust, you want to slice holes in the top crust so that it allows that steam to escape. Otherwise, it's going to bubble up and peel away from the edges. Just cut several slices in the top crust once you get it laid out. Or if you have one of these, my wife found these. She's got 2 of them, one for apple, one for just a fall, I don't know, pecan or something like that. And then she's got another one that's cherry, and I'm not sure what's on the other side of that one, but it's a nice little stamp that I use because if I try and cut nice slices, my grandma used to cut little apple wedges in her apple pies, little round cherries with stems in her cherry pies. I'm not that fancy nor that talented, so I use this handy dandy stamp. Just lay it right on there, press it down real good, and if you don't tear it all apart, like I may have just got a little crazy here, you gotta be a little careful. It wants to stick to your stamp. It's all right, we're okay. We didn't lose anything. And then you have these cute little apples on there. And then you just take the apples out and you have nice little vent holes. Gives a little nice presentation to it. That little extra something. The stem portion of the stamped apple doesn't want to come off so easily, but neighbor is honking if she likes apple pie. Now that one got a little boogered. That's okay. Nothing in life is perfect, is it? Just want to get those pulled out. Probably would help if I had a little knife to kind of help cut the edges. And then there's these little center ovals. Yeah, I'm gonna need a knife to get those out. Unless, nope, I'm gonna need a knife. Be right back. All right, we got us a knife. We can kind of clean this up a little bit and make it look a little nicer. Get these center pieces out of there. They need a little extra scoring. I must not have pushed down hard enough in the center. Some people might say, why bother? Just cut some holes in there. But I think if you want to do something, why not do it right? Why not go that extra mile and make it a little special? All right. So now we got our top crust. What we want to do is, I used my basting brush on my apple jelly and now I can't use it in my egg wash. Gotta wash that off. I washed it off, but I guess I don't really know why it matters. It's all gonna blend together. So you want to do, I take the egg wash and I put it around the rim of the bottom crust just a little bit. That helps the two crusts stick together. And then you put the crust on the top very carefully. Just kind of pinch the edges down in there. It's okay if it overlaps, we'll just trim it off. We just want it to, the bottom and the top crust to stick together, hold together. And you just take your knife and trim that extra off of there around the edge. I don't know why I'm reaching across the table so hard here. I could bring it closer to me. Let's do that. Put that over here. All right, let's get this crust cleaned up a little on the edge, make it look nice. Cottonwoods are shedding. All right, now that little dude wants to go on the pie. Then we take our egg wash and we just brush it on the top crust. This is going to help give it that golden brown flaky look to it that we love. Get it on the edge of the crust too, all around. Okay, and then the final touch, it's just a sprinkling of sugar over the top. Just a little light dusting. Give it that nice sugary texture to it. Doesn't take a whole lot. All right. That is it. And then, looks like our Traeger is up to temp. So we're going to put this in the Traeger at 450 for 50 minutes to an hour. And you want your apple pieces to be nice and tender when you probe them. So we'll check back here in about 50 minutes, see how we're doing. We'll go ahead and put it in the Traeger, right on the top grill. Oh, that's going to be nice. Okay, we'll check back in 50 minutes and see where we're at. Okay, it's been about 45 minutes. Let's take a check of the pie and see where we're at. All right, that is looking good. Let's just probe the apples. I think we could use another 10 minutes or so. We want those apples nice and soft, so we'll check back in about 10 minutes. Okay, it's been about 55 minutes total time. Let's take another check of the pie. Crust is certainly ready. Oh yeah, those apples are nice and tender. Let's go ahead and pull that off. Oh boy, that looks awesome. Remember those extra apples we had left over? I just took them and put them in a pan. We're just gonna make some baked apples. It's kind of a little dessert or a snack. We'll just leave those on there for a little while longer. I put them on late, so. All right, so there we have a smoke roasted apple pie. We're gonna, as promised, we're gonna have a little bit of the Moscato wine. Here you have our smoke roasted apple pie. Let's cut into this and have a taste. It's so pretty, I almost hate to cut into it. Oh, it's juicy. Crispy, flaky crust. It's gonna fall apart, but that's okay. It all tastes the same. Oh, that is so awesome. Let's take a little taste. This is gonna be scorching hot, but we're gonna do it for you guys. Crispy, flaky crust. That little sugar texture on top adds to the sweetness. Oh, let's try the Moscato to go with that. Oh, that is awesome. All right. So as always, thanks for tuning in to Smokin' and Drinking. And Prost.